Welcome back to the shop, guys. So I got another Mercedes video for you guys today, and it's not a maintenance video, it's actually a go fast video.
30, 60.
Let me be honest with you guys for a second. I'm actually very hesitant to make this video because I know it's going to get a lot of criticism. And it's because I'm going against what's popular, a little bit against the grain, and it's not on purpose. You got to hear me out here. So I watch YouTube videos just like you guys do, and I always like to fast forward through it. I'm just going to encourage you, try not to fast forward, because the things you might criticize later are probably the things I'm addressing right now, if that makes sense. So we're going to be talking about tunes for these cars because they're probably the most popular modification people do to these because they respond so well to them. So I've had a lot of tunes done in my life to different cars, and there's a hierarchy of different ways you can get tuned. By far the best, and I think almost everyone would agree, you go to a shop that specializes in your car, and they will put it on a dyno with a wideband, and they will tune it to your request for your car in your region, and you're going to get the best result. They're going to work out all the kinks before you leave. So that is the main way. That's how I've had it done on all my cars, with the exception of one. So my last car was an E55, and I got a mail order tune. They had good reviews. It was easy to install, and it had good results. They may not be optimized, and they may have some kinks, but they seem to work well. For my E55, it worked great. There's also another form of tune, and we're going to be talking about that later. So enter the E63. I got this with 11,000 miles on it, and I really wanted to get a tune. So I did my research, and I ended up getting a Eurocharge tune for this. And that's where this video gets hard, because I didn't have a good experience. Now, I'm not telling you this to bash them. I'm just simply telling you this because if I had a friend that got a Eurocharge tune and this happened to him, I would very much appreciate him telling me that he had this experience. That way it would save me the trouble. And with you guys being my YouTube audience, I feel like I have an obligation just to let you know my experience. If you're having a great experience with them, fine, keep the Eurocharge tune. There are a lot of happy Eurocharge customers out there. In fact, I am a happy Eurocharge customer. They did a great job on my E55, and if I got another E55, guess what? I'd probably get a Eurocharge tune on there just because it works so well. So just the 10-second version of what happened with my tune. I got the tune, put it on my car, and instantly I got an extreme jerk during the 2-3 shift, only in S+. Didn't do it in S, didn't do it in C, and when you took the tune back off, it immediately was smooth again. And when I say jerk, it wasn't like a nice performance shift like you get from a performance car. It was a complete cutting of the power during the shift, which makes you like jerk forward and then go. And like, you know, that is severely putting stress on the drivetrain. And you got to wonder, if you look through the forums, people break their motor mounts in these all the time in tuned cars, and I can't imagine that that is not related. All right, so just to justify what I did with Eurocharge, I worked with them. I jumped through every single one of their hoops. We tested it out for almost a month straight, several hundred miles, and I did everything they asked. That included upgrading the stock transmission software, upgrading the stock engine software. I did a wet adaptation on the clutch. I had to do like shift adaptations with Zentry. I did all those things, tried all their different methods, and it basically was not compatible with my car. So disappointed, I got a refund, and then I'm back to square one. So what do? So I started looking back into getting it dyno tuned. That's worked every time before. So while I'm waiting to get on the schedule for this local dyno tuner, somebody on the forum lists a race chip for sale for dirt cheap. So of course I just impulse buy it real quick and then do some research before I put it on the car. It turns out that they are based in Germany and they're made in Germany, and the company actually owns one of these as their company car, well, CLS 63. And so if they're going to get it right, they're probably going to get it right on their own car. So I figured I'd give it a shot, and I'm actually very happy with it. So it's a piggyback style tuner. So if you're wondering what a piggyback style tuner is, they're extremely popular with a lot of other BMWs use them. I had one on my Duramax. They're very popular with the diesel crowd. Instead of reprogramming your software, it leaves all the factory programmed ECU and TCU inputs the same. Nothing has changed. It just kind of, I believe it intercepts the boost signal and the timing signal and the fuel signal, and it kind of changes the input so the computer will ask for a little bit more boost and stuff. And that's how they work. And it seems to perform very well, and I've been very happy with it. It hasn't thrown any codes. I've scanned it with my Zentry. No issues whatsoever with it all. And so that brings me to the next thing I want to talk about that seems nobody ever talks about. So all these companies are claiming, you know, like we make 100 horsepower, and then another one to say they make 200 horsepower. And so it's all marketing. Everybody's trying to max out their tunes because that's how you get customers. You know, why would you go for the guy that says he only makes 600 horsepower when there's another one that says he makes 900 horsepower? But I can't be the only one that thinks this. What if you're not a person that's trying to max out your car? Let's just give a hypothetical example. Let's say stock boost is 14 pounds and the car will blow up at 24 pounds of boost. So all these tunes, they're trying to come in right at 23 pounds, just barely below the safety envelope so you don't hurt your motor. What if you're not comfortable doing that? What if I'm totally happy with having a nice increase over the stock amount of horsepower, but staying well below the envelope of blowing your car up? So I think that's what you get out of Race Chip, and I kind of actually am happy with that. So you can instantly, using your phone, turn it from stock to low to medium to high. They call it like eco, race, and sport, or I'm sorry, eco, sport, and race, or whatever. And they're different horsepower levels. So the thing I like about that is, so let's say it's a nice cool day. I can turn it up to race and I feel totally confident that I am treating my car nice because nothing is overheated. There's no risk of detonation. But then maybe a couple days later, you have a really hot day where it's just, you're sitting in traffic. It's 100 degrees outside. And if you try to run max boost, you're going to get pre-ignition and detonation. You might put your motor in a situation where you're going to subject it to damage. So you can turn it down. Anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to head over to the airport. I can do some quarter-mile runs there legally, and we're going to run it in a couple different modes and see what we get. All right, guys, here we are at the runway that I get to use for all my testing. We're going to be doing runs in regular, stock, and race mode, and I'll show you back to back and see what we do. All right, guys, so we've got the all clear for my friend to do a run. So what we're going to do is see how easy it is to change different modes. We're going to do this first one in simply off. So the car is in stock performance settings right now. So we're going to see what this first one's like. We're just going to do a simple brake boost launch.
$30, $60, quarter mile,
Okay, guys, so we got the all clear to do our second run. So in this one, we're going to run it in sport mode. And it's just as easy as that to switch it. Here we go.
30, 60, quarter mile,
All right, guys, so for the last run, we are going to turn it up to race mode. So this is their highest power level. And we got permission to do this one more time. So here we go.
30, 60, quarter mile,
All right, guys, so the runs are done. It's actually been a few months. So what is the verdict? Is the Race Chip even something us E63 guys should even consider, or is this thing just junk? So remember this. I'm coming from a neutral standpoint. I don't care if you buy it or not. I am not sponsored by them or anybody else, so I can say anything I want about this. I was more buying it from a curiosity. Does it make power? How's the drivability and the shifting particularly? And, you know, is it safe for my car? And so over these few months, I've come up with some results, and let me just share them real quick with you. So the first metric is just performance. I mean, I have hundreds of draggies here to reference that I've done over the whole time. So how does it compare performance-wise to stock and Eurocharge, since I, you know, had a Eurocharge tune on here? So I'll start with 0 to 60 times. These are my best times in addition to the ones you saw there. My best stock 0 to 60 with the 1 foot rollout, I'm counting, 3.41 seconds. Race Chip lowered it down 0.3 to 3.1 seconds. Eurocharged, this might surprise you, 3.3 seconds was the best time I was ever able to get with the Eurocharge 0 to 60. So the Race Chip is 0.2 faster than Eurocharge and 0.3 faster than stock. Quarter mile time. Best stock 11.6 at 122. Race chip brings that down to 11.25 at 125. Eurocharge, very close at 11.31 at 125. So race chip, again, slightly faster in the quarter than Eurocharged. Here's the other side of the story, though, and you might be able to kind of figure out what I'm figuring out here. 60 to 130 times. This one's kind of the best one to gauge like horsepower. Best stock time I was able to get 9.57 seconds, 60 to 130. Race chip got me down 4/10 lower to 9.16 seconds. Eurocharged 8.89 seconds. So Eurocharged 60 to 130 time is 2/10 less than race chip. So I think what that's kind of showing me that the Eurocharge probably does make more horsepower, but for some reason in gears 1, 2, 3, or maybe because of the shift on my car, I don't know, it was not being able to make that power in the 0 to 60. And race chip somehow doesn't have that limitation. That's what I kind of gleaned from that information. So if you're looking for performance, I mean, if you're doing just 0 to 60s and 0 to 100s, you're probably going to be better off, honestly, with a race chip. Now, let's talk about some pros and cons. Like, I'll start with the cons. A, their name's dumb. Who cares? B, their customer service is dumb. I've tried to email them like 4 times. They just won't respond to you. They just don't seem to care. Then 3, I don't think the tunes are maybe optimized. And when I say that, I'm specifically talking about the race tune. So if you noticed, even in those 3 videos I posted just a few, or runs I posted earlier, the sport mode was actually faster than the race mode. And I went through and looked through all my data, and they're always either neck and neck, and there's really not a whole lot of benefit to going to race. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on there. So to be honest, what I always do is I either run it in off, echo, or sport mode. I almost never go and race anymore. So take that with a grain of salt. I'm not sure what that means. And then, but for the most part, I couldn't find any other cons. The best thing about it, the shift, the 2-3 shift I was talking about, is perfect. And I think all that's related to is, remember, using the stock mapping, all it's doing is just raising the boost or whatever. And so I think that's why you get better drivability with the race chip over the Eurocharge. So the other huge pros, A, you can remove it. B, you can resell it. C, you can let a friend borrow it. I mean, it comes off in 20 minutes. I mean, I took it off to show you guys right now. Comes off easy. And then the last thing, the biggest pro, and I'd almost let this give the edge to the race chip over the Eurocharge can tune I got, is you can change the modes. I just think that is invaluable. I love being able to turn it off when it's hot, turn it off if I'm going to be, like doing something I need it stock for, and then turning it on when I want to race. I really did enjoy that. So anyway, guys, that is what race chip is. That's my data. Remember, I'm not trying to sell this to you. I don't care if you buy it, but I was curious and I'm passing that information along to you. And I hope that makes sense. Hope nobody's too upset at this video. Might be my first one that gets a ton of thumbs down. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. More videos to come. Lots of new stuff around here. So subscribe and watch next time. Thanks.